so that then he cannot keep his word and it will not be his fault. It will be Sue Loudon's fault. Okay? Everybody has to be real clear about that. If Senator Beers had the list...
Does this work too?
Yeah, it's better.
It sure does. I have to assume that if Senator Beers had the list, that he would keep his word. But in this case...
We have to assume that, don't we?
Well, we do have to assume that. And,
Or not.
Why can't you get it?
The party has a tradition for as long as I've been involved of having a chair who is an elected official, typically a senator, state senator. Mark Amadei did it a couple of years ago. Lynn Hetrick did it a couple of years before that. And I did not attend any pre-convention meetings. I drove up on Thursday and drove back on Sunday.
As chair of the convention, now why can't you request to get it?
I have
I'm going to
requested it.
repeat the question. As chair of the convention, why can you not get the list?
I have requested it. I have not been given it. The people who have it, the Credentials Committee, have not given it to me.
The question is, why not? I mean, you've asked it. What's their excuse for saying we're not going to give it to you?
They have not offered one. Well, let me go back. That's not quite true. I have been given the reason that there are delegates who attended who do not want their name, address, and phone number to be released.
They fear you. That you will injure them. No, I kid you not. But if we pay $10,000, apparently that fear goes away.
I've got a question on the just I wanted to get a clarification on the rules, Senator Beers. When we were voting in the congressional districts, from my interpretation of the rules, it says you had to be there to self-nominate. Now, Senator Ensign was not there. You took a poll of the votes. How is that following?
The group that was in that back room with me voted nearly unanimously to allow Senator Ensign to stand for election as a national delegate, even though he was not there.
I actually don't believe in the rules that said you had to be there to be elected as a delegate.
And I believe that's true as well on the congressional piece. That was separate from the self-nomination from the floor, although, at least in my third of the world, we allowed people to self-nominate from the group. But that whole episode of the breaking into congressional districts vote was not, well, I can't speak because I was only in mine, but there was no advanced plan of uniformity of the way that would happen. It came out of the Warning Rules change, and so we improvised.
I also want to make the point, though, that the Ron Paul people had no hand in running any of those elections. That was all done by either McCain or party people, people who were elected officers of the Republican Party or elected officials in the state of Nevada who ran those rooms. Is that right?
Not in, well, depends on how you define ran those rooms.
Which one?
In my room, I created a count committee that included an obvious McCain advocate and an obvious Ron Paul advocate.
That is correct.
Yeah.
This is on the same subject.
And I don't know how the other rooms did.
But that's in the counting, not the
That's in the
organization.
Counting.
Right.
CD1 was done fairly.
And each of the and people, and I'm the guy who picked the 3 people to run the 3 congressional districts, nobody else. They were senior elected officials on site, Lieutenant Governor
Barbara Sagowski ran her
Senator
CD3,
Beers.
and she did just fine. I saw no irregularities in our district.
I was helping with District 3, and I just didn't know how they were saying the rural district, because every time someone handed a vote, their delegate thing was initial. And I double-checked every one that was turned in. We double-checked, made sure it was not initial, and then accepted their, so, and this is the way Barbara, whatever,
Sagacity.
set it up. And
That's
it was
correct.
all done.
That's how we did this in
absolutely-
my room as well.
Okay, but-
But we had not anticipated that we would be dividing the delegates into congressional districts. And so that badge didn't say what congressional district you were in.
That's true, it
And we
did.
did not have a list of.
But I'm
who
just
was in
saying the
which
people
district.
from District 3 could not have run over and done it because they could
I
have
think,
not
I
run
think
over
the
to
concern that
district
I've heard is
ones.
that people went to the wrong district
Now, that's possible, I didn't know.
and that it was not content.
And-
At the end of the day, it wasn't content.
That concern is from a party person who is supporting the king, I have to say.
I don't know that.
I do know that. I've
What
had a
physical evidence
conversation
would
with
they
him.
have to produce
There must
this
be one.
flaw?
I'm sorry?
What physical evidence do they have to produce this so-called flaw that was?
I have not,
The same they
I've not heard any discussion. I've not
Would a,
seen
would
any
a
of that.
ruling be passed to negate the CDs without physical evidence?
I don't know, well, I think the technical moment that the elections are final is when the delegates accept the nominations committee reports.
So would the party be gracious enough to even present those reports when we reconvene?
I do not know the answer to that question.
Will the delegates that were not at the first convention be able to go to the second convention?
My understanding is no.
That is no. By the way, Richard, your question, actually that begs another question. Are we going to reconvene?
I don't know. There's a debate on reconvening. Well, we do know that we have Rue Goodnow's interpretation that we cannot reconvene in Las Vegas. We would reconvene in Washoe County. There's also a school of thought that we could conduct a mail-in ballot.
I think we want to watch what's going on.
I think the body has voted that down.
Well, so now I'll get up on my soapbox. So everyone put your hands down for a minute because I'm going to talk. That is what I want out of this. And what I want out of this is that one of you in 15 years is a state senator and chairing the convention. What I don't want is for you guys to go away mad.
I'd like to self-nominate.
Well, next week is the week to do that. It doesn't have to be 15 years either. Every person that you saw that is the Republican Party to you came to their first convention as a volunteer at some point in the past. And it's easily discouraging work. It is all volunteer. We win some, we hope, and we lose some, and probably remember the losses better than we remember the wins. But at the end of the day, in 10 years from today, the Nevada Republican Party is going to be a bunch of people who've been volunteering for 10 years. And personally, I'd rather it be you than a bunch of tax and spend liberals.